Section 17 of The Rural Magazine and Literary Evening Fireside, Volume 1, Number 2. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Betty B. The Rural Magazine and Literary Evening Fireside, Volume 1, Number 2, by Various. Miscellany, Part 2. Wolf Bounty. The Comptroller of the State of New York has communicated to the legislature a detailed statement of the moneys paid out of the state treasury to the several counties during the last 5 years as bounties for the destruction of wolves. The following exhibits the amount paid to each county. Allegheny, dollars, 5,527. Albany, 40. Broome, 1,760. Chautauqua, 1,762. Shenango, 440. Cayuga, 600. Clinton, 280. Cortland, 77. Delaware, 1,490. Essex, 577. Franklin, 2,445. Greene, 520. Genesee, 1,937. Herkimer, 260. Jefferson, 2,177. Lewis, 1,250. Madison, 162. Montgomery, 160. Niagara, 1,475. Otsego, 143. Oswego, 1,180. Orange, 200. Ontario, 1,450. Oneida, 1,320. Onondaga, 480. St. Lawrence, 3,190. Saratoga, 165. Schenectady, 22. Steuben, 3,520. Seneca, 67. Schoharie, 120. Sullivan, 970. Tioga, 1,487. Tompkins, 20. Ulster, 380. Warren, 435. Washington, 20. Total, $38,259. The Earl of Dalhousie is appointed Governor of the Canadas. Sir P. Maitland administers the government till spring. Boerhaave in his old age. All peculiarities in the lives of great men are interesting, and much more so when they relate to their latter years. The name of Boerhaave is regarded as the most illustrious in the annals of modern medicine. After having courageously withstood the evils of poverty in his youth, his talents and reputation enabled him, it is said, to realize a property of 2 millions of florins, which he left to an only daughter. Let us see whether his wealth had not changed his occupations and taste. In a letter written in his 67th year to his old pupil Bassan, then appointed physician to the Emperor of Germany, he speaks thus of himself. My health is very good. I sleep at my country house and return to town at 5 in the morning. I am engaged till 6 in the evening in visiting the sick. I know something of chemistry. I amuse myself with reading. I revere, I love, I adore God alone. On my return to the country I visit my plants and gratefully acknowledge and admire the liberal presents of my friend Bassan. My garden appears proud of the variety and vigor of its trees. I waste my life in contemplating my plants and grow old with the desire of possessing new ones. Pleasing delusion! Who will give me the large-leaved linden tree of Bohemia, and that of Silesia, more extraordinary, with folio cucullato? Thus riches serve only to increase the thirst for wealth, and the covetous man abuses the liberality of his benefactor. Pardon the dotage of an old friend who wishes to plant trees, the beauty and shade of which can charm only his nephews. Thus my years glide on without any chagrin but that of your absence. How much is there in these few lines! What activity, what zeal for suffering humanity! What piety, what innocence and vivacity in his taste at an age when they are nearly extinct in most men. Literary Panorama. Mummies. Under the mountains adjoining Kiau, on the frontiers of Russia and in the deserts of Podolia, are several catacombs or subterranean vaults, which the ancients used for burying places, and where a great number of human bodies are still preserved entire, though interred many ages since, having been better embalmed, and become neither so hard nor so black as the Egyptian mummies. Among them are two princes in the habits they used to wear. It is thought that this preserving quality is owing to the nature of the soil, which is dry and sandy. London Paper. A correspondent who observed some time since a publication relative to the extraction of oil from pumpkin seeds, has recently, from curiosity, made an experiment of the same on a very limited scale. He assures us the extract obtained is of equal flavor and sweetness with the best of olive oil. Our correspondent is of opinion that the publication alluded to above originated with the Harmony Society in the state of Pennsylvania, and if so, is desirous of knowing the best method in practicing for extracting the oil from the seed. Boston Patriot. There are few sentiments stronger or more natural to the human heart than that of indignation at oppression. So predominant is it that it is to be found, not with the good and virtuous only, but even amongst the most unprincipled and vicious. If there is anything that addresses itself to all that is generous in the heart, it is this sentiment. What is more, it is the solemn duty of every man to set his face against injustice. New invention. We understand a patent has lately been taken out by a gentleman from Massachusetts for an invention which seems to promise extensive advantage to navigation, if once fairly brought into operation. It consists principally in a new method for submarine plowing to any necessary depth by the power of a steamboat. When the matter is effectually loosened up and pulverized, it cannot reasonably be doubted but the rapidity of ebb tides, united with the natural current of the rivers, will soon carry it off and keep the channel open. The inventor is now in this city, giving a perspicuous view of his plan, which appears uncommonly simple and practicable. The advantages of being able to plow open channels through the shoals which so frequently form in many of our immense rivers would alone be an object of very great advantage to our southern and western states. But when we consider the invention as extending to opening channels for large ships to enter the harbors and rivers throughout our whole seaboard, the advantages presented to view are incalculable. National International. The Agricultural Society of Fredericksburg in Virginia have drawn up and transmitted a remonstrance to Congress against the attempt making by our domestic manufacturers and their friends to increase the duties upon foreign goods, wares, and merchandise. In the short space of 2 years and 5 months, 120 miles of artificial navigation on 2 great canals through the interior of the state of New York have been completed, by which the physical practicability of uniting the Atlantic Ocean with the great western lakes is rendered no longer doubtful. Straw bonnets. It is estimated that the value of straw bonnets manufactured in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut exceeds $300,000 in the 1817, and great improvements have latterly been made, which, together with the discovery of a vegetable by which the best quality of Leghorn bonnets are successfully imitated, is likely to render our fair countrywomen independent of foreign supplies in this respect, and at the same time furnish a delicate employment to many others of their own sex. There are few things that more properly demand the attention of Congress than this manufacture, so far as its amount goes. As gentlemen, certainly they will encourage the ladies in their industrious habits. Phenomena. Boston, Massachusetts, January 5th. Saturday, about noon, 2 very brilliant parhelia, or mock suns, and beautiful corona attracted the attention of numerous spectators. Mock suns were equidistant from the sun, by conjecture about 20 degrees east and west of it, with comas, or tails, extending in opposite directions from the luminary 5 or 6 times their diameter, which appeared to the eye a little less than the apparent diameter of the sun. The corona was estimated to be about 30° to the northward of the sun and nearly in our zenith, and exhibited all the bright colors of the rainbow, the inside next the sun being red. The color of the parhelia was orange color of white flame. The corona formed an arc of about a quarter of a circle, and between it and the sun was a segment less brilliant and defined. The atmosphere was unusually clear, and the space between the mock suns and the real sun was a perfect blue expanse, without the least appearance of the vapor and spicula which must have occasioned the phenomena. We noticed them nearly an hour, when they gradually disappeared, leaving a cloudless sky. The phenomenon was observed at Salem. A curiosity. It is stated in an English paper of November 12th that Mr. Creswick of New Street, Birmingham, has a singular article of cutlery in his possession, viz., a knife which contains 400 blades, and which, before it was put together, consisted of 5,000 parts. Public Libraries of Germany. The Royal Library of Munich contains a collection of 400,000 volumes. That of Göttingen, which is one of the most celebrated in Germany, contains 280,000 volumes, 110,000 academic dissertations, and 5,000 manuscripts. The Dresden Library contains 250,000 printed books, 100,000 dissertations, and 4,000 manuscripts. The Library of Wolfenbüttel is particularly celebrated for its valuable collection of ancient works. It contains 190,000 printed volumes, 10,000 dissertations, and 4,000 manuscripts. Among the 182,000 volumes which compose the Library of Stuttgart, there are 12,000 different editions of the Bible. There are 7 public libraries in Berlin. The 2 principal ones are the Royal Library and the Library of the Academy. The former contains 160,000 volumes and the latter 30,000. It may be calculated that the total number of books contained in the public libraries of the German states amount to upwards of 4,000,000, besides the various memoirs, pamphlets, periodical publications, dissertations, and manuscripts. English paper. Philadelphia, published monthly by Richards and Caleb Johnson, No. 31 Market Street, at $3 per annum. Briggs and Dickinson, Printers, Whitehall. End of section 17. End of the Rural Magazine and Literary Evening Fireside, Volume 1, Number 2, by Various.